diabetes. I'm done. Finito bandito. I'm out of here. Sayonara. See you later. Au revoir. Konnichiwa. If it's your first time on the channel, guys, I'm a type 1 diabetic bodybuilder, diagnosed at 11 years old, ended up playing semi-pro hockey and just learning how to train and manage diabetes in a way that still allowed me to thrive through my sports and the things I was doing. And I just give back to do what I can to help transform the lives of many diabetics. As we know, there's so many misconceptions when it comes to diabetes. On top of it, if you're not a diabetic, I do amazing supplement and food reviews and a lot of motivational mind stuff too. So if you guys are interested in that and you're not diabetic, you can still click the link down below and I'm sure you'll find some crazy value out of this. And if not, yo, you get to see me, a new friend. I mean, I don't mind. Join the family. Diagnosed at 11 years old. When I was 12 years old, I wished my diabetes away. When I wished my diabetes away, I ended up being so sick I had to go to the hospital. I was DKA'd. So that means that for those that don't know, you got ketones in your blood. You got to get that flushed out to make sure that you're good. Now, naturally, ketones can actually, you don't have to necessarily go to the hospital every time you have ketones. You just have to get the blood sugars back down into normal ranges. The ketones will go away. Just a warrior tip. When I went through that, something powerful happened to me. I started thinking when that happened. I would realize, okay, you know what? I could sit here, I can lay down, and I can say, why me? Why is this happening to me? I can ignore it altogether. But I realized in ignoring it, you're disrespecting it. And as crazy as this sounds, the more respect you lend to diabetes, the better your diabetes is gonna be. The more your diabetes is gonna respect you. It's one of those things where it takes respect to get respect, and somebody that ignores their diabetes is not taking it into account, is someone's gonna have a harder time with it. And if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling like shit, that too can give you the illusion that things are more difficult than they should be. I know when my blood sugars were high, they were all over the place when I was a kid, and I was wishing diabetes away and things weren't going the way that they should. I felt like everything else was so much more of a drag. It was so much more difficult to get up and go to school. And even when I was older and I went through a period of time where I was depressed, I couldn't play sports anymore. If you guys don't know my story, you know, I talk about it a lot. I was playing at a high level of hockey, one of the highest levels of hockey you could play. And I ended up getting myself injured, a career-ending injury, and I gave up on my diabetes. And in giving up on my diabetes, I learned a valuable lesson. And giving up on your diabetes, you know, that's a part of you. You, in a sense, kind of give up on yourself. And when you do that, you wind up in a scenario that's not good, and I had a near-death experience. Sometimes in diving deep and putting the work in that's necessary, or finding help to guide you to get that done, whatever, I don't care what it is, whatever you need to do to dive deeper on yourself and your diabetes and get it sorted will help open up other areas in your life and make them a lot easier. And then diabetes itself won't be as much of a drag. It'll be something that actually becomes a part of you, and you coexist with almost a mutual respect and balance. If there's another thing that I can say, is have the right people in your circle. When you have the right people in your circle that are feeding you the right information, that care about you, that are showing compassion to your situation, and are genuinely trying to find solutions, that will also help you to succeed. Growing up, my dad was always in my corner, and he always wanted to see me succeed with what I was doing. We come from a long line, guys, a little background about my family. Come from a long line of family that played a lot of sports. My uncle got drafted to the NFL, Cleveland Browns, ended up playing in the CFL for Saskatchewan Roughriders. My dad played football too, stopped playing, got into a little argument, a little racial situation with his coach. Back then, yo, the racism even in Toronto, Canada was crazy. If I tell you guys my dad's story one time, you guys don't even know. Roughed him up, the coach roughed him up in the change room. My dad quit, it is what it is. But even my cousin, man, my cousin played college ball for a bit as well. So we got a lot of stuff in the family. My sister even played college soccer, so you know, me, myself, wanted to play semi-pro hockey. My dad was always in my corner to provide me the best information possible. And especially if you have an endo or a doctor team, make sure that they give a shit about you. Make sure that you're not walking in there and they don't look you in the eye. They treat you like a number and you just walk out. Find someone different who's going to look at you, who's going to listen to you, and who seems like they care, or at least pretends to while you're there, to give you the empathy and compassion that type 1 diabetes needs. By you making sure you have people in your circle that do not do that and they treat you with more respect, rather than treating you like a number, and rather than putting the burden of diabetes on your shoulder, and then you go home with higher blood sugars, you can't control it, then the respect game comes back into it, because now you're not respecting diabetes, because you're like, fuck diabetes, because I have to go through all this other shit, and everyone already thinks it's my fault, so screw it, I'm just not going to deal with it at all. And then things get worse, and then you have more issues you got to deal with down the road. So make sure your circle gives a shit about you. Another thing I want to bring up that'll really help you guys out is treat diabetes like a game. Man, I played sports my whole life, and so working on improving little details, I became fascinated by it. It's almost like I had crazy OCD with. And you can do the same thing with your diabetes to think, okay, what do I got to do to tweak things to get this blood sugar in stable ranges? Become a student of the game, right? Great players became students of the game. They watched film where they went wrong to find out where they could go right. Imagine no one who watched film, no one watched what they did with their game. They never had feedback. How do you get better? And the same thing, unfortunately, diabetes is a little bit more tricky because you only see your endo once every 3 months. If maybe once every month if you're lucky, some people once every 6 months. And the people around you, as much as they might try to help, they don't have diabetes like you do. And so it's hard for them to give you the knowledge and information to take you to the next level. So it's up to you as well. That's where the onus comes in on you, is also to put the effort in to find the right information and find the right people around you to help you. But also when you do that, play the game, become a student of the game, find out where there's gaps and holes, and dedicate yourself to improving the gameplay for your own diabetes. That'll help you, because over time, then you'll patch the gaps. You'll become a better player of the game. It's fun when you see the trend line go straight over a day when you have a normal blood sugar. When it bounces up, it's like, damn, let me reset this game a little bit and see how I can make it better. No matter what I say, you're still probably gonna get into a scenario where you're like, man, I hear you, Jason, but fuck diabetes, man. And I hear you too. And believe me when I say it's okay to say that, but jump back in at the end of it, snap out of it, get in gear and take the steps necessary to take yourself where you want to go, and you'll be more than good. Just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was important today, especially if you're dealing with a lot. Just know there's always help out there. You guys got me. If you ever feel like you're struggling some more, I got my link down below. You guys can always book a call with me. You can join our community. That rhymed as well. You guys are gonna find I find weird ways to rhyme words and put them together sometimes when I'm talking. I don't do it on purpose. It just comes out smooth. You guys notice that? But it is what it is. I guess I'm just boosting myself today. You gotta be your own fan. You gotta boost yourself. You guys don't boost yourself. Oh, shit. I don't know why I tripped out, man. She's my baby girl right here. Man, I appreciate you guys. There's always solutions. Keep your head up. I know things might be a challenge, but remember the moment. And I had a call with one of my clients today, and one of the biggest things that we said was that the one thing that you have ownership over in this world is the moment. How you treat yourself in the moment, what you think about in the moment, how you react in the moment, and that itself is the domino to everything else that happens in your life. In that way, you're never chasing the future, and you're not relying on the past. You're just engaged in the moment and doing the best you can, being grateful for the moment. And from there, you could tip the scales because of how you are in this moment for every other moment that comes forward. So do what you can now, put the work in now, put the effort in, and everything else will find a way to flow.